Okay, it's the 27th of October, folks. Three-boy race today, challenge, and we've just got the camera behind me on David Witt's back in town, and he's got his own skiff this year. It's called Sydney Marine. Strange colour. Some say the green's not a very smart colour to put on a boat. He hasn't missed a bit of it. He's got green all over it, so it'll be interesting today. We've got Chris Nicholson sailing the Mojo in his first race. So the backmarkers in this handicap race today should put on a bit of a show for us. You've got David Witt, you've got Chris Nicholson, you've got Jack McCartney filling in for Michael Coxon, who's absent today. He's sailing off the 1 minute mark. And then you've got, well, I'm putting Asco Appliances in the backmarkers. He's off 3 minutes with James Doran. They went pretty well last week. And Mojo 1, I said, Fisher and Paykel, Smeg, Nicky Press is back in town. So with those boats, I think the backmarker part of this race should be quite interesting. But up front, I think the winner should come. It's very light out there, max. They'll be 3-string, but we've got max breeze of about 8 to 10 maximum at the moment. And I think the boat that I like to win today is Rabbitoh's Kenwood. That's Brett Van Munster's boat. He's on 9 minutes, and you've got DeLonghi Rabbitoh, Simon Noon on 6 minutes. So it's going to be interesting. We'll get out on the water. Warwick Rookland's coming with us. He's just having a little bevy over there. I think it was a vodka. So he's just priming himself to come and join us on the camera cap. We'll get out there and see you on the water when we find Dougie Cameron. Okay, so we're out on the water. As you can see, got the mighty Ripple side beside us. It's a nor'easter. It's course 1 again, same as last week, and it's a 3-boy, as I was saying, 3-boy match race, 3 laps, 3 over 6, I should say, on the flag mast. So it's 3 laps of a course 6, up and down. It's all sausage legs. Warwick Rookland, welcome back, mate. Shame the cloud came over. We were looking pretty sunny earlier.
Yeah, I know. It's not in the what do I say? The travel brochure, but anyway, we're here, and it's another day, another nor'easter. Looks a bit funky, and as you said, windward lewards today. We got that wrong last week, but second time we get it right, hopefully.
So Warwick, we had a little chat on the way out. How do you see this race shaping up? With we've got the fleet slowly but surely gathering momentum. We've got, as we said, David Witt, Chris Nicholson on board, with Scotty Babbage just back from the Moth World with a 3rd under his belt. How do you reckon that race will go? Just off the top of your head, buddy. It's light.
Yeah, it's light. I think it's been, it's flicking around. I just looked at the airport. It's east nor'east, down south, and so it's been a bit of a funny day. But yeah, like Nico's just getting back into it. He's got Scotty, who's obviously, top notch as well, and David Witt. All those guys will be good. I mean, we've got Jack McCartney sailing the Thurlow Fisher while Cocko's having a breather this weekend, I believe. Yeah. So, all those guys, like Woody, I was really impressed with John Winning last week. He did a great job.
Yes, he did. He's off about 3 to 4 minutes, I think. Well, we'll give you all those handicap updates as we go along. Warwick will be telling us which marks which boats are going around up there, because it gets a bit confusing. But yeah, hang on to your seats, folks. It's light. It'll be 3 strings. Not all to play for, but certainly for you guys. Pick the Podium will start on the 10th of November. So this is all part of that, trying to work out some form early on from see if you can find somebody you might make one of your favourites later on in the season. David Witt, Chris Nicholson, etc. Anyway, we'll shut it down now and come back to you with a minute to go and see who gets the better of this start line. So we're just coming up to the 1 minute. There it is, 1 minute to go for this scratch start of the 3-boy handicap. And you got the fleet. Most people are liking this boat end up here, and David Witt has got Asco jammed up underneath him. He won't like that, although Asco's on a small rig, so they're going to struggle out here today. And David's put the bow down, so there goes the big green boat. And what do we got? Kenwood roaring up now. That's a good sign. Johnny Winning's the most windward. He's going to... Ooh, this is going to be tough for Woody, isn't it? Yeah,
he's well overlaid and had to really put the throttle down to make himself clear. And he's going to be well early. It's going to be well early.
Very adventurous start, Woody.
But I like it. Bit of fire in the old man.
And Nick Press has got the Smeg sitting. I think this is going to be a general, isn't it?
Yeah, we've actually got line bias there. Pure blonde's over by a long way. There's
2, 3 horns.
Yeah, so
okay, that's it. That was a blow up, that one. We'll come back to you with the second start. See you then. Okay, well, you can see that guy hanging on the main sheet in the Vanguard. That's Tom Clout. And Tommy Clout, I had a beer with him the other night, said he was steering the Thurlow today, but he's obviously got a better offer, was it? There's quite a few she lines on that deck there.
yeah, and one of the pyjamas is having a good time there, and so you can see why he sacked the 18s to go on that.
Smart man, that Tom Clout. Anyway, we'll come back to you as they line up again, and we're hoping they're going to get the leeward pin right up, because this breeze is way in the east, so they're going to have all sorts of problems on that boat end again if they don't. Come back to you then. Okay, we're coming up for start 2, Warwick, and we're just talking to Dougie Cameron. This breeze has flicked around to the east. It's pretty flaky and it's moving a lot, but it's favouring the east. So these boats, they're all going to try and start on this boat, which is going to create some grief for everybody. Who's looking good there was? DeLonghi's looking pretty good. Lumix possibly, but Asco's gone right down the leeward end, and that mark should be up another 100 metres really, shouldn't it, if you're going to get boats down there?
Absolutely. I mean, because there's so much east in this breeze, they're just going to get hammered down at the pin. We saw before the guys at the weather end, when they took off from the line, they just got the slant on the breeze and they're nearly pointing at the top mark. So yeah, you've got to really own the boat.
Well, they got their bows down now, so it's on for young and old. Pure Blonde, Nick Daly's, he'll be all right. Jack McCartney probably do all right out of that.
Yeah, Jack got a good start, and he's close enough to the boat, I'd imagine.
And
Mojo's in good shape. This
yeah,
Chris Nicholson. He's probably best of the starts.
Yeah.
So he's lost nothing while he's been away.
So it's going to be who can hold a lane here and stay up off the boats to leeward of you. And there's a nice old jam out there. Mojo's giving Lumix plenty to think about, and the bow's going down a bit on Mojo. So Jackie McCartney's probably done all right out of that. David Witt, welcome back to the harbour, David, on the Jolly Green Frog. He's had to put his bow down. So that's how it's going. The boats down the leeward really are going to feature too much in this beat, and it's not going to be much of a beat. And we don't know where the 3 turn marks are up there. So it's a bit of a lottery going up here. We'll come back to you when we make some sense of it once they get to Bradley, see what's going on then. So here's the issue for the guys that started on the pin end, Asco, the kitchen maker, and Pure Blonde. Now they've made it to Bradley's and they're high to Bradley. So when they tack, they're going to look at a lot of problems, because if you come around to the left, Simon, you can pick up the leader of this race right now is either DeLonghi or Fisher and Paykel with the Southern Cross Stars on the mainsail. And they got sailed quite high mode, as Wazza says, off the start line, and they're just hooked into that right hand air, and I think they are streets in front. Yeah, come back to the front now, Simon. You can see Asco with a small main on, small rig, taking the sterns of Pure Blonde and the kitchen maker. Now you can see the bow height on those boats. They bow down, and it's a nightmare. So all the joy is in the east right now. Wouldn't you'd call that, was it?
Yeah, absolutely. DeLonghi actually got a little bit spat out of the start, but then just stuck to it and just went to a high slow mode, and it's looks like it's paid big dividends for them. And they've just, as you said, picked up that right hand slant and done very well. And
I think Grant Rollerson is even further in the east, and he probably leads this fleet. We'll shut down now and get across to see what Grant's air's like over there. He's right across in front of Asco. Warwick, we've just come over to the Shark on the eastern side of the harbour, and Jono Whitty, the guys at this Lumix boat, James Hozak and I forget the other guy's name in the middle, doing a great job. Now they've hooked right up into this east. Have a go at the bow position on that boat compared to Rollo on the Fisher Paykel. They're going to blitz this.
They've made absolutely massive gains. I was actually quite surprised that Nico and Thurlow Fisher kept going to the western shore there, because Lumix has just come from behind and just absolutely just smashed everybody.
Yeah, the bank's open for business over here, and they're giving away money right now, and Lumix has got most of it, because look at the height there. He's he probably would be overstanding those turn marks up there.
Well, there was an old skiffy legend called Bobby Holmes, and he said if you could lay Bradleys on a nor'east course in the 18s, hit the eastern shore.
Yeah, good plan. Hang on, what's happening here? So it's pretty flaky out here, but these guys have spat themselves out just in that little 50 metres they went into the east, and they're gold at this point in time. And that rig, I was talking to Jono earlier, that mainsail is off their old wing mast setup, and they've got a stock standard. I'm not sure if it's a CST, it probably is a CST spar, but he was complaining that they hadn't used it before and he didn't think they go that well today because it's a pretty flat sail. So it's not hurting them right now. So they're going back for more of that money over there, was it?
Yeah, well, that's interesting, but anyway, it's worked for them so far. I would have been happy to get up the course a bit and just consolidate that.
Well, Grant Rollerson has gone back. He saw Lumix smoking, so he went in further. So these two are basically tit for tat up this eastern shore, and I think they'll be famous. So that's it. That's how it's shaping up. Shut down now and get up the top marks. But these guys are looking famous. Back to that. Now it's still all happening up this eastern shore. We're just off Steel Point, and Rollo, the mighty fisherman Paykel, he's got Pistol Pete and Jeff Beaushop in the bow today. And I think they're back in the lead now, mate, just from taking a bit more east.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly very close. I mean, the trouble is, you get this far east under Nielsen, it's going to get really funky, but it's certainly been a game changer for these two boats.
Yep. And the others in another postcode right now. So that's how it's shaping up. It's, as we were saying, it's way beneficial to be over on this eastern shore. Back to you shortly. Okay, so here's Lumix. This is our all-the-way lead. Not all the way, he hasn't done enough yet, but he's certainly got away from this fleet, and Jono won last week. So Jono Whitty is a light aircraft, he flies a light aircraft, he's got a licence, so he's obviously a pretty good navigator. He's hit this thing smack centre on one leg up the harbour. Or no, he took a couple of legs, but he knew how to get here, and he's going to go around that red mark that's under his bow now. So folks, Woz and I just talking, this race is effectively over at this point. This boat should win by a country mile, because once he gets around, sets his chute, he's going to be, what, 5 minutes in front of the next boat? Or not the next boat, but he's going to just keep going with it.
Yeah, like we're not meant to say that because it's going to make it a bit boring, but unless he screws a pooch, he's got this in the bag, and I don't think he's going to. Well,
he broke his whisker last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
He nursed it in. So anyway, it's early days, a lot of sailing to go, but boy oh boy, hasn't he carved them up. Next boat around will be Grant Rollerson right behind you. You're on him, Simon, that's good. In the mighty Fisher & Paykel now. He's got borrowed sails on that thing, as you can see. I don't know what they were off, but he's had to borrow that rig until he gets his new big sails. So he's doing quite well. And the boat that's done really well out of this is James Doran. If you come around to the front, Simon, you've got Asco here now. He's on a small rig. How does he do that, was it?
Well, maybe he hasn't got a big one, so he's got no choice, but he's done very well with the second rig to be in the position he is. But they get into their second rig so early now, but it's certainly not the rig of choice for today.
Well, James Doran's wriggled his way out of there rather masterfully, and he's going to be, what does he go around? He goes around a blue mark, first up. You got a bit of a mad scramble, then you got
all blues for Asco.
All blue for Asco, so he's going to be up against it with a small sail. But here's the peloton right in front of us. Smeg's got a little bit of a break over Thurlow and Hayer Appliances, Pure Blonde and DeLonghi, and these blokes will race in the same sort of area. There's a couple of, DeLonghi goes around a short mark, Jack McCartney and the Thurlow goes right up to, I think, the blue mark first off. So that's how it's shaping up, but Lumix is gone. Shut from this and we'll catch up, see what's going on down the bottom mark, right back down to Clark Island. Okay, so here's the peloton shaping up to each other. We've got Nick Preston and Smeg now. This breeze, as we said, is in the east, so they're trying to get an alley down this harbour, and Hire's still hanging in there. He went round the red mark, DeLonghi, so these guys are going to be cutting thrust all the way down on this clinical run, I would suggest. Going to get out of the road. Put up the back of the Thurlow boat, Jackie McCartney on the stick today, and Davey O'Connor. Who's that in the bow, was it?
Daniel Nixon.
Daniel Nixon, son of?
Kevin Nixon.
Kevin Nixon. And you can see there won't be too much jibing going on down here. They're basically aiming at the target down at Clark Island. There might be some jibes off at the bottom. But the boat that's done quite well off scratch is your mate.
Yeah, Nico's done well on the Mojo. They had to go the furthest out of all these boats, and they've taken a little bit of a lower line through here, so they're looking good at the moment. Just really depend on how much east they get once they get into the Rose Bay region, which they're doing now. So it's certainly better to knock it off a little bit earlier than start doing jibes in this pressure.
Yeah, I wonder which way they'll go up the course next time. Probably over in the east, you'd reckon?
I reckon they might kill her.
But they're in pretty good shape from being on scratch. They're up in about 6th spot, I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're probably 5th even, so that's not a bad job given where they were up the track the first time. And
yeah, they've done really well. They've got Scotty Babbage on the sheet today while the 7 boat's being put together. So he's got a good team on board, that's for sure.
Yeah, he knows a bit about dinghy sailing, that boy. So that's it. We'll get down the bottom mark, but could be a bit of a procession, but I think there'll be a lot of straight lining over to the east and trying to get a lane. It could be like a drag race up on that eastern side. Don't know, but that's what we're thinking. Back to you then. Okay, for all you UK fans of the 18-footers, this is your tourists, and they're just having a ding-dong battle here with the Smeg. They've just been rolled by Smeg, but they're well up in this. They're in about 3rd or 4th position here.
Yeah, they're doing really well, and I think a lot of these guys, or maybe they didn't want to keep fighting Smeg, and they've realised that they've moved the bottom marks well to the right, looking downwind.
They're getting more pressure down there, aren't they? They're bows down and struggling a bit, so this might help these guys up high if they can just get a puff to get them down there.
It's just so tricky. Like you see the boat in second, it's just got hammered down there and only just laying, and these guys are going to have to jibe, so the rich are going to get richer.
Yeah, I think the Dougie Cameron's, the starters group, put that mark well to the west there to make it into more of a beat up there. That's probably a good move. Yeah,
but I don't know if they notify them of that at the top mark is what you're meant to do, but that's what you get in the 18s. So you just sort of run it how it is a bit sometimes.
Keep your eyes out of the boat, catch and kill your own.
But then now you look at Smeg there, like the breeze has really shifted. It's almost got some south in it, so very tricky day.
Yeah, eyes out of the boat today for sure. So that's the guys from the UK. Good blokes. We've had a few beers with them in the club. They're enjoying their visit down here, and we'll no doubt get that thing up to speed. That comes with JJ Gilpin time. I'm sure that's part of their plan.
That was quite amazing when they got that breeze through that gully out of Rose Bay. They've actually just done a 60-degree right-hand turn there. The pressure and the angle difference was quite amazing.
Yeah, it's all bow down. As soon as you get into that vein, you'll change your course around 40 degrees. So anyway, that's the way it's working out. 2 marks to go around here, but they're all going to take the most favourable one, which is the one we're right in front of our bow now. Nobody want to go anywhere near the lower one. Come back to you shortly, we'll track them down and see you. They're pretty sure it's going to be a big party over in the east going back. Going back up on a wind, and we've caught up with Grant Rollison's Fisher and Pay Kell, Jeff Beaushop in the bow, and Pistol Pete. And they're just, you can see where their bow is, they're just right up into Milson Park area, but they're very flaky off Shark Island, Warwick, isn't it? Their pressure's up and down, but it's where you want to be because the breeze is just all over the place. You've got to be where the lift is, and they've got it here. Jono Whitty is trying to show you where Jono is in relation to these guys. He's down lower, but he's well pressured up. You can see Panasonic Lumix coming around the bow of Fisher and Pie. They're just going to get richer and richer, eh?
Yeah, for sure. It's just one of those days. They got the break early. They got to the east early, these guys, and they've just extended it. it's really, you know, it's become a soldier's course. Most of the boats got down to the bottom mark without having to jibe or do any turns, and so it's really just become a bit of a drag race now.
Now, the other news we can give you, we're just talking about the English guys that have come out here to race. Not sure what their boat's called yet, but they were on scratch today, Warwick, and we were just agreeing that they were in front of Chris Nicholson at that point. So that's quite remarkable, given one of their first outings.
Yeah, no, that's very good. You see John O'Witty's hooked in some right-hand air and is very bow up at the moment, and in good pressure. He's just taking off here.
Yeah.
Already both of these guys, they've just extended.
Well, he started the season on 8 minutes and he lost 3 of those last week. He's down on 5 and he's going to blow the doors off again today, so he'll be down to 2, all in the space of 2 weeks.
Exactly, and all before the money comes into play for Pick the Podium as well, isn't it? Peaking too early.
Yeah, he's peaked too early, and anyway, keep your eye on him, but that's what I was saying about today. All you Pick the Podium people, we won't start until the 10th, but is Grant Rollerson and his guys, they've got a borrowed set of sails.
That's certainly not hurting them today, and you can just see there when they get those big right-hand pressure and puffs, he's just keeping the bow down and actually going fast. But you look ahead there, John O'Witty's hit a massive hole and actually decided to tack, so that's really interesting. These guys are coming at him like a freight train. Got the big pressure, right hand, Jono's in a big hole going nowhere, so this could be a lead change up here.
Yeah, it could be. Right now it's looking like it's all Grant Roller. He's got a lot of breeze in front of him, so, but Jono's back underway, so it could be a close cross this. So anyway, it's one of those days, up and down, funky, flaky, and all in the east. Come back to you shortly. So here's our leader, Lumix, and just going on with it, and he's way up high to the marks. He's going around a blue mark, won't bother him at all with the lead he's got. And Jono, he likes that little bicycle hat, doesn't he? Is that a bike hat? What?
Yeah, it is. It's the old retro bike hat, and I noticed they had it. He was wearing one last week and worked so well, he got 2 more for his crew, and he's just going even further. So I don't know what they're going to do for next week.
Put him on backwards, baby. So that's our leader, looking a treat, fully extended, pressure's just right for these guys in their big rig, even though he wasn't happy with it. He thought it would be too flat in the head, but I don't know if you want to do too much of that for a while. But just extending beautifully. Grant Rollison's next on the race course, and then Nick Press has got the SMEG going nicely, covering Chrissy Nicholson's Mojo guys. But I think it's all playing out beautifully for Lumix today, a double header for him. Let's watch him go around these marks shortly. Let's watch the Lumix boys. They're just going to put the bow down and jibe around this blue can and hoist the big black chute, and they'll just disappear and extend away again. So go you good thing, Lumix. Another great day out here for those guys. Shoots up, not a problem. So here's our back markers, Nick Press's SMEG and Chris Nicholson, Mojo. Now they've come up the centre. Nick Press is probably going okay, and they're both going around that white mark, aren't they, right?
Yeah, and you look at that, like we commented that Chris actually went up the middle of the harbour and he's picked that lay absolutely perfectly. He's going to, unless he gets, he just got buried then, but he's looking like he still may lay, but he's made good ground on that.
So this is the race for the podium. Lumix is gone, and these boats are all going around the same mark next time. So this should be an interesting race developing between these 3 boats. Round goes Nicky Press, bang the jibe in, and Chris Nicholson will be next in the Mighty Mojo. So at least we'll get a little bit of cut and thrust out of these guys, Warwick.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good race for the podium. You got to remember, you got Daniel Phillips on SMEG and Chris Nicholson on Mojo, who were partners at the Sydney Olympics in the 49ers.
There you go. Just balance it nicely, bang it through. And it's a bit tighter this time, Warwick, by the look of that.
Yeah, they're definitely getting carted. There's more east in the breeze. But look at the lead that Lumix has got. I mean,
massive.
Just the rich just got so much richer, unbelievable.
Yeah, they might have to peel these things, which would be a bugger. But they're certainly heading inside Bradley's is the slam shoot on Grant Rollison's boat. So I'll just tickle along with these guys. And we've got the Poms right, they've gone around the white mark as well, so they're hanging in beautifully here, the Poms.
Yeah, they've done a good job also. So this is a good race. I mean, the lead is gone, but the race for the podium, even though it's stretched out a bit now, like they didn't have such a great set on Mojo, but this is, 1.5 laps to go, so this is a good little battle here.
And you come around and just see, you got the Poms. I think that boat's called Hire Appliances. Will carry that branding throughout the season when they get some signage on their sails. It'll be a lot easier to pick them out, talk about them. So there you go, folks, up in the UK, heading in a bit of winter. You've got a bit of sunshine down here on the harbour. As the boys come to grips with Sydney Harbour summertime action. See you down the bottom. Just thought we'd show you the difference of the challenges for these boats under Spinnaker. You got on slam now, they're looking like they're struggling to get around Bradley's, and we're right beside Mojo. If you come around, Simon, you've got Mojo having a real ding-dong with the Hire Appliances guys from the UK. You can see the Union Jack on their main. They're really toughing it out as these puffs come through the course. So 1 minute you're looking for pressure and you're heading right up. The puff comes on, yeah, down. So Grant's coming up, so it's a bit tricky, isn't it? You just got to play the roll with the dice here and just keep the smarts up.
Absolutely, it's just about what you got at the time. It's just snakes and ladders. But these two boats are having a great little battle, and who knows? See, look, their slam, if we look ahead, has just gone into a huge hole. So it's just a matter of what you got at the time. You can't control that.
Yeah, this is interesting. So this is going to be a good race between these back markers. Slam's just got the better of them at the moment. We've got Mojo and Hire Appliances. We think that boat's called Hire. It's got no branding on it yet. The boys from the UK just letting it all hang out here today. And Smeg just through Mojo there is probably in second place. Did we have him? No. Yeah, he'd be in second now, Slam. Smeg. Yeah, so he's come through on Fisher and Pagel. So go your good thing, Smeg. Staying up high, that was Warwick.
And these other two boats are coming up to Grant also. So there's still a lot of sailing left in this race.
Nice race developing here for the podium. Yeah, that's it. We'll come back to down the bottom. We're right down the bottom again, and you can see Nicky Press's guys, Dan Phillips and Gill, just peeling that red chute off the mast. Now, they've got into second place here, and they've got a comfortable second right now, just because they got right up high, didn't they? They stayed up in the light stuff. They kept pressuring up, kept high, and then when the pressure came on, they were able to get down here.
Absolutely, and they were able to keep the chute on longer than the guys behind them, and the English knocked off very early, and that's cost them heavily.
Grant Rollison's there.
Grant's in third now.
The same. Mojo's taking theirs off, so well played, Smeg. Nice little second here, and we think they would. They're going around the white mark again, and so is a Grant Rollison. So, as we were saying, good race for the podium, second and third at least. Catch them up the top marks. Bit of a one-way track though, this one, all in the east. Caught up with the Vanguard boys, just doing it tough out here. The beanbags are out. Bit of camouflage gear there, and Tommy Clout. Not missing the sailing at all, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, got the theme party going. Tommy's got his priorities right. Flick the sailing. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll shut it down, and Jono just still clearing away with this race in the mighty Lumix. Bit bored with these chasing Lumix all around this course, but he's our leader and he's doing a fantastic job, Warren. We're just saying that Matesville, Jono didn't, it's the first time on this new mast, but it just seems to be working a treat right now. They've been powered up in all the light stuff, and it just flicks out the pressure when it does get a bit puffy, so it's not a bad starting point, given you didn't like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't have a conversation with him about what he liked or didn't like about it, but we're watching. They were sailing the boat really well through the water as well. It wasn't just the tactics on that first beat. They're actually doing a good job.
So all they got to do is hoist that and just slide down the harbour and get Doug Cameron's guys to give him the gun. And that's 2 in a row for the Lumix. Can't see anything going wrong there. And I'm just trying to find daylight. Second, here it comes. It's the mighty red sails on Smeg. You can see just a lot of Lumix. So he's a couple of minutes away from up here, I would have thought. And then Jack McCartney's he's come out of the blue.
Yeah.
See Thurlow Fisher right up off Steel Point there.
Yeah, he has, and see he's gone to the east, and you look at Chris Nicholson and Mojo. They've elected to go more up the western side, and they've got actually smack down there.
Yeah,
and
so he's dropped out of it.
Yeah, so Thurlow's come back into third place here.
Yeah. And Rolo has just dropped off the back. So Thurlow's done some pretty magic stuff, and I'd say, as you were saying, he's gone east earlier there, and Smeg tacked away pretty early and just went straight up the centre and took some of that right hand, and he's going to lay quite easily, so his tactics worked out pretty well. But Thurlow's obviously gone way into the east. So anyway, that's our podium, folks. The mighty Smeg will run second, barring a complete catastrophe, and Jackie McCartney looking after Michael Coxon's role on that boat today should get that into third. So that's the way it's shaping up. We'll shut down. Grant Rollerson would like to get in there, but he's going to struggle. Talk to you shortly. Okay, you've got the camera on Smeg. Gill just wrestling the luff tape on that. They're going to try and stay up high. That was their big success story last time. But they got Thurlow Fisher Lawyers giving them a good run for this second spot. This is our podium, and right ahead of us is Thurlow Fisher Lawyers. Go to a good thing. They've got Jeff Beaushop in the bow.
No, Daniel Nixon.
And Davey O'Connor on the sheet. Light crew this one, so they're not that. They got Jack's pretty light, and David isn't a man mountain. Mind you, he's very fit. And Nico trying to hang on to that chute. Go you good thing, Thurlow. So there's the battle for second and third. We'll get down there and see if we can track Lumix down and get him to go across the line with us. Thank you, Dan. Okay, as you can see the guys on Lumix here, even though it's not that fresh, the little bullets come on at such a tight lay to this finish line. They're not even looking at it at the moment. You can see a bit of bow down there was on, they're aiming straight at Bradley's head with the bridge coming into view, so it's a bit of a struggle down here, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, but geez, they've done a good job today. You've got to give them full credit. They did the right thing up the first beat. They sailed the boat well through the water. Their crew work's been good, and it's really only the second race of the season, so you'd have to say if they keep this sort of progress up, they're going to be a contender for the championships this year, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and they're not, they're way under the finish, but they know that just keep the chute on. Oh, it looks like they're going to pull it off now. They've got the angle back they want with two sails. So down she comes, James Hozak, ripping it down the mast. And I'll just have a cruisy little two sail into the finish line. You can see the ferry over there is on the finish line, finish boat. What a cruisy afternoon, 2 wins. Great job.
Very nice.
Okay, so Lumix all the way today again. Jono's just going to shave this line on an angle here. Two sailed in, as we saw, and game over. Well played, boys. 2 in a row. Excellent bit of work that. They picked the right side of the course to go when they went up the first time. Just started buying some real estate in the east, and it just went all their way, was it?
Yeah, absolutely. That was all the big dividends were done in the first 10 minutes of the race, so well done to them. Congratulations. Obviously got a few fans on the ferry, so very happy for them.
Okay, we're just going to button off, and Smeg would probably, he's just coming up to Bradley's now, so he's probably 2 or 3 minutes away, so we'll button off, and he's got Jackie McCartney's guys on the Thurlow, still having a crack, but I think that's the way they'll finish. Smeg will come across, come back to them when they get here. Okay, second today, Smeg, Nicky Press, Danny Phillips and Gill just cutting through the line there. Good job, those guys. They were on the back marks all day. Quite a bit of distance between the placings, but hey, it was one of those days, flaky as and up and down in rain. So, and the next boat across, you can see this is going to be a pretty close finish. 2 sails coming in here. You've got 2 boats. Warwick, one's Thurlow Fisher Lawyers. I think that's Grant Rollerson, the other boat.
Yeah, Grant's actually just started rolling those guys, so this should be a good finish. It depends whether Thurlow can hold that line. They've obviously will have rights at the pin end of the finishing line, so this could be close. A bit hard to tell from here.
Yeah, no, they look like they're...
No, I think Rollo just got them actually, just rolled over them there.
Wow, yeah, Rollo through. Wow, you can see the sails unload. So Grant Rollerson, he fought on all day too and dropped out of it a bit and then came back. So a podium's a good spot for those guys today. Borrowed sails, so there's another boat. Rollo has got a good little squad there. Jeffrey Beauchamp and Pistol Pete on the sheet. They'll go pretty good this year once they get all the new equipment and sails. So keep that in your mind when we start doing the Pick the Podium. Fisher and Paykel, 3rd today. And Jackie McCartney probably enjoyed that. He hasn't been sailing all year because he's putting his new rag, Cooper's 69 I think it's called, a new rag and famish, probably go in the water next week. And yeah, get the cobwebs out of the system. Jackie, well played. And he's got Davey O'Connor and Nico in the bow. So next across, I don't know if it's Kenwood or not. They were further back than fullback. I can't tell you that one. But anyway, that's our race today. Thanks, Warwick Rooklyn, for coming out and doing a spin with us, mate. Always appreciate it, and good fun to talk to you. And Simon Brown for squeezing the trigger. We'll get ashore. Might have a beer. You can have one back in the club, or you got a bolt? A beer?
I don't drink, mate.
Good, eh? Right, we'll get ashore and we'll have another chat to Jono Whitty. Very animated, I'm sure. He has a grin all over his face. Thanks for coming, folks. We'll see you in the park next week.